You can sew your very own art roll. It is so easy. In this video, I will show you how. When I started thinking about this project, I made a few sketches. I sketched the other rolls that I've seen around, and then I sketched the easiest roll that I could come up with. So here I was thinking of how high is a pencil, and how much space am I going to need for the pocket at the bottom and the flap at the top. Hey, my name is Kendra Luebuga. I'm a watercolor artist, and I've just ordered myself a bunch of new Inktense pencils, and I have a lot of other pencils, and I want to expand my kit that I take out on my outside walking and sketching. Now that it's spring, I want to do that more often, and even at home I think I'm going to be using this more often because it can be more compact. I can roll it up when I'm not using it because I watercolor on my dining room table that we also eat on. So I need to always be picking up my stuff. So I wanted to make a really simple a really simple artist roll. And I've been looking at what other people use online. I've been looking at Melanie Chadwick, who uses one from Peg & All called the Sendak roll that kind of folds over. And I'm going to try that too, but first I'm going to try one that's very similar to what Sandy Hester has been making from her own design. Her mother has been sewing them, but I don't think that they're available for purchase because I think she's tired of making them, which I can understand because I think there's a lot of stitching involved. Anyway, I am no slouch when it comes to sewing my own stuff. So what I thought I'd do is I have all of this, it's home decor fabric, but it's really strong, kind of like a canvas. And this is from window curtains that we had in our rental house. Last year, the tenant moved out and we spent 6 months cleaning up 12 years worth of broken everything. And so this fabric came from there, and it is a little bit sun stained. You can't really see in a small piece, but you can see if it's like covering a large window. So I put up new curtains over there, and then I washed all this fabric, and I thought, well, at some point I'll figure out something I can use it for. So this is perfect for me because there's no loss. It's just my time to figure out how to make the artist roll. So I cut out this piece that is 15 by 21 inches because I sketched it first. I think I'll show you the sketch on the video. And I'm going to just fold it over by 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to take this bias tape. Bias tape it's just like a long strip of fabric. This is cut on the bias so that it has a stretch. But for this purpose, you don't need a stretch. But I have bias tapes because I've made bias tapes, and you can also buy bias tapes. It's kind of like a polyester blend type bias tape. This is a cotton bias tape. Anyway, don't mean to be a bias tape snob, but I like my own bias tapes just because of some of the other projects that I do with sewing. So I'm going to clean the edge of the artist roll because of course this cut edge is just kind of nasty, and then if I just fold it back, I guess that's one way to do it, but this adds a nice little pop. So I'm going to sew this, and then I'll show you how it looks, and that's what's going to hold my pencils. All right, be back in a minute. All right, I'm back, and here we are. There's the start of the jelly roll. I keep calling it a jelly roll. Here's the start of the pencil roll, or the artist roll. And what happened is I thought that 1 inch would be a good spacing, and I did a few 1 inches, and I realized that I can only fit like 2 pencils if I have a 1 inch spacing. But if I do 1.5 inch spacing, then I can fit like 5 or 6 pencils. So you can see how this will work. It'll just fold over the top, and then it'll roll up like this. So this is the simplest pencil roll that you could possibly do, I think. All right, I'm going to do the next part, which is I'm going to start thinking about how it is going to close up at the end. All right. Okay, here we are again. So this thing is done. See the artist roll? So all you need is a, what did I say at the beginning? 15 by 21 piece of sort of sturdy canvas that you can find at the Goodwill or anywhere. And then you need a little bias tape or just strips of fabric that you like. And you saw my process of folding it up on the bottom. Then I stitched the bias tape, and then I stitched some pockets. And what I found is that if I have 1-inch pockets, they only really fit one item. So there's my water brush. It fits in there, that's by itself. So I made all the rest of them 1.5 inches or a little bit more. And then it folds over like this. And I roll it up like this. And then this is the part that is not the easiest thing, but you can just put a tie around it and that would be the easiest thing ever. But I use these little can snaps, which I'll link to below. I found out about it a long time ago when I was looking at some sewing blogs, and I've used them all the time for all kinds of projects. So they're these little plastic snaps called cam snaps. And so I made a series of 3, not because I think this jelly roll is going to pop open, but because it needs to be adjustable. Like when it's really fat and full of pencils, it may need to be on the second one like this, or on the first one. So I'm going to fill it up with pencils, and then I'll be right back and I'll show you what it looks like when it's full of pencils. I'm really excited. This is a really easy little project. If you can make a pillowcase, if you can sew a straight line, you can do this. And you can have a jelly roll that you would otherwise spend about $100 or more on, a fancy one. And that way you'll just have did I just call it a jelly roll again? An artist roll, pencil roll. Very nice little project with very few materials needed and very few skills needed. All right, I'll be right back with the, this thing filled up with pencils. Hey, now we're back. Okay, here's the final shot. This is totally loaded up. Each part, each little sack is completely loaded up with pencils, and still have space to snap. So here we are. That, and all loaded up. Very heavy now. Some water brushes here, couple of pencils over here. I find that the little 1-inch slots are quite nice for things that are more charcoal pencils that are going to be more, I don't know, I only keep 1 or 2 of those just in case, and they might, you know, they're going to mess up the fabric, but that's okay. Like one pen, and then a whole bunch of water-based things, Inktense and watercolor pencils. All right, so that's it. If you make one of these, you let me know how it goes and what you found to be challenges. This is my first try, so if I have any future updates that I'm going to put into things, I will share like the second most easy pencil roll that you've ever seen. All right, have a good day. Have a nice time making your own pencil roll. Talk to you later. Okay, so now you saw the design process, and now I'm going to show you step by step. First, cut out your piece of fabric, 15 by 20, maybe 15 by 25. Should be canvas or denim or upholstery fabric. Step 2, attach bias tape or really any other folded fabric that is like bias tape along the long edge. Step number 3. Fold the canvas up 3 inches and test this height with your pencils. You saw in my video that I said I would fold it up 2.5 inches. Well, when I put my pencils in, I decided that 3 inches was better. Step 4, pin the fabric on each end just to keep it in place, and then use your ruler and some chalk to map out your pencil pockets. You'll want 1.5 inches for most pencils, but the 1 inches at the sides are great for some other little items. Step 5, After you've stitched your pencil pockets, try it out and take a look and see how it looks with your pencils. And then get your bias tape ready for the sides. Step 6, attach the sides. You are almost done. Step 7, load it up with your favorite supplies and then think about how you want to enclose your new art roll. You can use the same bias tape or you can use some twill tape like is shown here. In fact, I attached that piece of fabric that is the same as my bias tape to the twill tape so that it's one color on one side and the other color on the other. This strip I made 18 inches long so that I could just tie it at the very end. So step 8 is either use a tie that is 18 inches long or use a shorter tie and attach some buttons or snaps or Velcro. Finally, step 9, attach the tie inside of the right side of your art roll. And there you have it. You're all done.